All right.
Yeah.
So we are back. And we always have, things in the bag. We don't let out everything. We always keep all your wondering inside of the Midday scandal. And with that said, we have another very, very, very special guest in studio. I left a special spot for another piece. But unfortunately, I'm not seeing it here today. It was, it took front stage yesterday. I'm talking about that very special hat.
Oh, my God.
Midnight Rubber.
Mrs. Fay-Ann Lyons Alvarez is in studio with us today. Welcome to the Midday Scandal.
Thank you guys very much. Thank you.
Fay-Ann, let me just let you breathe a sigh now for me, please, because this
I can't breathe
is so
I
heavy.
can't breathe it. It's still up in the air. We need to, once it's resolved, then I'll breathe. I can't breathe because Miss Universe Trinidad and Tobago original can't breathe as yet. So
listen, first of all, how is Evie doing?
She is visibly upset. She's shaken. She's distraught. She's very tired of the whole back and forth nonsense, and I think even more she's hurt by the attacks that she's been getting from the franchise holder. Yeah. And the insinuation that she's been going about on social media, bad talking the lady and talking and stuff like that. And I think it's really sad because that is not her character. That is not who she is. I've known her for a week and a half, but I'm privileged enough to actually know people who are related to her that I didn't know she was related to.
Right.
So yeah, that's not her style.
Okay, so walk us through. Just give us briefly what has transpired from yesterday to now, because a lot of people have been asking questions and they want to know, okay, what is the situation with Evie now? Does she still have a chance? What's going on? How do you all feel as well about the other girl now falling through? Do you think that she should have declined? What was the situation?
Okay, first I want to address this. Yeah. I have not been involved with the Miss Universe Trinidad leg nor the Miss Universe International leg. From 5 months ago, my involvement started just before the One Caribbean concert.
Yes.
Check 2 days before that, I jump in the pot. I was not here before. I had no clue about what was happening with what. My involvement was supposed to be a plane ticket. I realized the young lady needed more assistance than that. Mm-hmm. So hence the reason we brought her out on stage. Let me explain. One, let's start with the first leg of the competition. People need to understand that I've come to realize that the competition has 2 legs, a local leg and an international leg.
Yes.
Now, the sponsor says that you need to come with your sponsors for the competition. Mm-hmm. That's correct. What she should have said is you needed to come with sponsors for the local leg of the competition.
2 separate entities.
It's 2 separate entities because only when you win and you are crowned Miss Universe Trinidad and Tobago and you are officially the person that's going to represent Trinidad and Tobago, then you can approach big name sponsors to then get plane tickets and better gowns and more elaborate settings and costuming and these things.
Visa, etc.
Exactly, because with the local leg, you can't compare visa application to taking a taxi from Port of Spain to San Fernando, wherever you call it, you understand?
Right.
And then the infrastructure, the team needed, the makeup artist, the type of personnel you need behind you to prep for the Miss Universe International stage. Mm-hmm. Chalk and cheese compared to the local leg. So let's not confuse the two and have the public thinking, well, you're supposed to come with your sponsor, which means, why would somebody sponsor you and they're not sure you're going to win? The big ticket sponsors, the people with the money, the movers and shakers that are able to approach people, will only wait to see who's crowned Miss Universe, because then now you can go and ask for more money.
Right.
You understand?
Only makes sense, yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. So that's that. When Evie was crowned, whatever sponsors Evie had from the original Trinidad and Tobago leg, possibly they stayed with her out of loyalty and out of seeing her progress and whatnot. So
it's an investment, yes.
Right. So when she said she had stuff prepared, it meant that the people who were there with her when she won the Trinidad leg
are still there.
They're still there.
Right.
But they were just not enough. Because now for the Trinidad leg, if you needed 2 outfits, for this international leg, she needs 60 outfits. That's
no, break it down too for me, Fay-Ann, because a lot of people are seeing the comments and ridiculous stuff. If you don't know, just ask a question. Why 60 outfits?
Okay, because let's check in a 10-day span. Miss Universe is required to make a number of appearances.
Right.
Let's check 4 outfits per day over 10 days.
Making sense.
You understand?
Yeah.
So you can't just budget for just the
show, the 3 shows or whatever.
You need extra.
Filming. Yeah.
They might put in a abrupt, impromptu appearance.
You might get soiled. Something might rip. You don't know.
Somebody else might show up in a dress that you have because these things are bought. A lot of the clothing are bought and are just designed.
Yes.
So we need to pay attention to these things as well. So the sponsorship, when we came on board, she wanted a ticket. We realized, okay, what else Miss Universe requires you to do? Then she got the emails and she realized, oh my gosh, I need to send video footage. I need pictures. I need glam shots. They want to know your country thing, so they need to see shots of you taking.
How much notice did she get about these things that she needed to get?
This was around the time. If I am in here a week and a half now, one Caribbean concert was just this weekend gone.
Caribbean show, yeah.
Okay, so then that's what I'm telling you. We shot the morning after the concert. We were on Maracas Beach, 4 o'clock in the morning, waiting for the sun to rise, doing her makeup and prepping and priming her, so that when the sun was coming up, we'd get beautiful shots. So that we would have enough time to get off Maracas Beach. We went to the promenade after. This was done the day after the concert.
Now, Ms. Douglas mentioned in the live phone call yesterday that she, meaning Evie, knew that she was not supposed to have a management team.
Okay, let me explain that. Let me explain it to the management team. That's a very nice sell, Miss Douglas, but no cigar. First and foremost, you cannot expect Miss Universe to be walking around making phone calls, coordinating her photo shoots, coordinating her gym appearances, sorting out her outfits, structuring everything. That's what
impossible.
People are there for. It's impossible.
Now, she tied up herself also because first she said that Miss Evie came with a management team.
She said
something,
Team
yes, she's a Team Evie. Yeah, so she knew about it.
And then after that, she said
you can't,
so,
yes.
Exactly. So it's like if Team Evie did the local leg, when it came to doing the international leg, she needed heavy lifters.
Yeah.
So we were able to get her here appointments with Neil Farina and a bunch of other people to come on board to help. Now, question. How is she going to get all these things done for herself? In a competition, you want the edge on your competitors. You want to look better. You want to make sure that you're fit. You need trainers. You need nutrition. I am the one who personally made sure she got meal replacements so that during the day when she's busy on photo shoots, she could have her meal replacements, her protein, made sure her salads are properly well made. None of those fancy dressings that people like to eat. I am the one who have on a structured, you need to eat every couple of hours.
No, Fay-Ann, if you weren't in this position, who was supposed to be put in a position? Yeah. Who was supposed to do that?
She was doing it for herself before me.
So what is the role of Miss Trinidad and Tobago, the franchise? What is the
role?
That is what
Mrs. Role? Douglas needs to explain, because I cannot say what their role is or is not. What I can say is the things that we were doing, I assumed that they would be there to be doing that.
She said that, she said that if she didn't get help and she came to her, she would have helped. That is what she said.
So what do you mean she didn't get help? First and foremost, she knew Evie was driving around the place with a car. The problem is, in my opinion, when people realized that we were helping her, they started to ask questions about why and where she was. And she did not like the fact that people were shining her up.
Yes.
For something, because one of the statements she made is that I was trying to take over a franchise. I'm not trying to take over your franchise, love. I'm trying to help a fellow Trinidadian that you left, you understand?
But it was.
At my disposal. Meaning, at no point in time, I could show you emails where she says, see you next year. I hope to see you on board next year, Fay-Ann.
So she was fully aware that you were on board and assisting.
Why would I have us... Thank you for helping Evie, and it's so nice that Evie has people, and then you're coming on the radio to make it look like you had no clue who I was and that I was even involved. But then you're saying I was here 5 months ago. So if I was here 5 months ago dealing with Evie, what's the problem with me dealing with Evie now?
What about the situation where she also mentioned all contestants coming into the pageant knows fully well? That's where I stopped and I asked her, is this a verbal agreement or is this a written agreement that you must have your visa, you must have your papers and everything
here's
organized?
The next thing, right? In my opinion, my band members, I got their visas for them. I got their work permits, because that's what you're supposed to do when you have people that you're taking abroad to work. So we did their visa petition. They have their work permits. If you're doing Miss Universe, you cannot, in my opinion, I could be wrong, somebody should call the embassy, but seeing as the embassy approved the visa under the Miss Universe franchise internationally, means that she did the correct thing by applying for a visa via the Miss Universe angle, and not just going for a regular B1, B2.
Right.
Because when you go up to the immigration in the United States and they ask you to declare your purpose, why are you there? You cannot use a visitor's visa if you're going to do business. You understand? Like if you're going to work,
it has to be differentiated. Yes.
It has to be, exactly. They're going to send her back, and then we'll have a deported Miss Trinidad and Tobago, which is going to be even more embarrassing. So the safer thing to do was to wait until your competition has ended and get the Miss Universe franchise to send you the paperwork and get visas for these girls. It makes no sense if they have a visa and they're going to work on a visitor's visa for the Miss Universe franchise.
But wasn't this even communicated? How was this communicated?
But that's my point. My point is, if I am holding a competition, I'm supposed to be checking for your visas, number one.
First thing, all right, everybody, let me see.
You knew Evie didn't have a visa, why allow her to enter?
Exactly.
Number one. Number two, if you knew Evie's supposed to have a sponsor, then why allow her to enter without sponsors that you know if she won the competition would not be able to pay her airfare and get her to the United States of America to do the competition? Yeah. Number three, if you knew that you had these girls sign a contract, now this is a 25-page contract. These girls, some of them have backgrounds in medicine, they have backgrounds in fashion. Even if they have a background in law, it takes a very, very, very detailed type of lawyer to sit down and memorize a 25-page contract. Now, even if you did give them the contract, I want to ask you, did you give them the opportunity to go have the contract looked at a lawyer where they could have signed and made a copy and then
make a conscious decision if this is what they want to do or not?
But we don't have that, because I have spoken to a couple girls that was also in the competition and they are telling me that they don't have a copy either. So what I'm saying is, if Evie is not the only girl in the competition that doesn't have a contract, then we could totally take out the fact that Evie was negligent or she was just reckless. So she just was so ambitious, she just wanted to be in the competition.
Right.
There were a number of girls that was also promised contracts that didn't get. The second thing is, it's a 25-page contract. If you're asking girls to sign a contract in front of each other, we all know the atmosphere that is going to create. I'm going to look at you, you're going to look at me, and all of us are going to look at each other, and I'm going to be like, you know what, if I don't sign this here, I can be out of the competition, I can lose my shot.
You're pressured,
so we also need to understand the atmosphere under which they were given the contracts to sign. You understand? So there's a whole bunch of unanswered questions floating around in the air. My thing is, I just don't like the fact that I was thrown under the bus for trying to help. I was not even working. I didn't even know Evie before a week and a half ago. The only reason I brought her out on the Caribbean Strong stage was to let people know she existed. The camera crew backstage we paid for to make sure that she got photo ops with everybody, and it was one of the requirements by Miss Universe in the email that they sent that she be seen in public doing a humanitarian service. And I don't think you get more humanitarian than trying to raise funds for your own country and people that are affected by flood in your own country. So we did that on Saturday. Sunday we took her. She got a couple hours sleep because we had her up and down backstage. Sunday she got a couple hours sleep. She was up at 4. We did not leave Fort George, and we have people who we took, Bungie and I took, pictures of people who Lyons and having dinner with their family and whatnot. We took pictures with these people so people could tell you we were up there like 7 o'clock in the night. We did not leave until like about 7:30 for her to go and get some sleep to come back to the office on Monday to start to do the prep to upload stuff, because when she got the email about the amount of things she needed, we had 2 days to do it and 1 day to upload it. We were in the process of uploading it, which would have been yesterday when this whole fiasco happened, and now we've ceased sending the information because Miss Universe said that they needed like as much detailed stuff as possible because they need stuff for media. If they need to send something to this particular media, they need video, they need audio, they need everything.
Yes.
And none of that was done.
Now, yesterday, I heard on the news when they finally, after numerous attempts of trying to get onto Miss Douglas, they finally were able to get onto her. And she was explaining to them, saying that the reason all of this happened is that she gave Evie no permission to go in public and use her name in order to and make defamatory statements and beg for money. She said, why is she going out to the public begging for money?
Yes, she did say the beg for money statement. Okay, first and foremost, let me say this to you. There are a bunch of people in Trinidad and Tobago that could tell you Evie was driving around in a little old car with a friend of ours, literally going from house to house like she's paranging, asking for money, asking for assistance. The franchise had no problem when it was down, when it was on
a down low.
Exactly, because they weren't looking bad. She was asking people one at a time. So there was no shine up. When we got her, I'm like, why are we going to all these people? Let me see what we could get done for you, and then what else we could get the public to get behind you.
Yeah.
It wasn't a begging for money, because let me explain something to her. There are people that go to the public to ask for assistance when there are sick children and sick people. you understand, to raise funds. That's not begging. That's reaching out to your fellow people. There are people that lost their homes right now and are reaching out to the public via the news media. They're not begging. They're asking their fellow Trinidadians to help them. And then if she was so concerned about begging, she should not have given each of the delegates 40 tickets or so to sell to the public. That is begging. You should have gotten a promoter, done the thing properly,
it the correct way,
get a box office, go and advertise in the media, decorate your hall, make your thing real VIP red carpet, and sell your tickets yourself. Instead, it's alleged you have these people. Evie told me for herself she was selling tickets, and each one of the delegates sold no less than 40 tickets. That, my dear, is begging.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
No, that's separate. The fee apparently is a fee you pay to enter.
Oh.
Even if you pay to enter, you still have to sell tickets.
Right.
So all I'm saying is this. I didn't go begging for anything. We went and appealed to Trinidad and Tobago. And frankly, I'm glad we did it. Because a lot of people had no clue who Evie was. They had no clue. This woman gave her a letter and said, go out into the world and be fruitful and multiply. So when you went out into the world and you're actually multiplying and you're making stuff happen.
And it looks bad on you.
Now, let's recap. She did not have a problem with Evie begging in public until she called me. She called Evie and spoke to me on Wednesday to ask me to come and see. She wants to come and see everything that we've prepared. So her problem is I didn't turn over everything to her.
Right.
So I know she's looking at social media. She's seen Romney Malco and all these people putting up, the congratulations to Evie.
Yes.
She's seeing the backlash she's getting. So now you're calling me and saying, okay, so when can I come through? I said, well, you can come through on Wednesday. And when you're coming, bring the contract. She's like, oh no, I can't do that. And this and that. I said, well, let Evie get the contract. No. I just want to come and see the dress and see everything. Now, if I'm not supposed to act as a manager, I'm not supposed to act as a sponsor, I'm not supposed to go in the public and solicit or beg for money, why are you calling me to ask how far I've reached in her preparation and to set up a time for you to come and see what I've done?
Another major question. Have you all ever met face to face?
Never met. I've never even actually spoken to her on my phone. I've only spoken to her on Evie's phone.
Has Evie ever met her face to face?
Well, I would hope so. She entered the women's competition because now I'm seeing on Facebook that that's not even her real name. So I don't even know what's going on anymore.
This boy.
I'm confused. I'm literally confused.
Charada.
No, I'm telling you, I'm highly confused right now.
So Fay-Ann, as of today, where are we?
As of today, I've advised Evie to seek legal counsel to find out what her options are. And the team is meeting. We've seized all communication with sponsors and these things because, in all honesty, I cannot keep talking to people in the capacity of trying to get them to sponsor somebody that I'm not sure is a Miss Universe, you understand, delegate for Trinidad and Tobago to represent us. So until Mrs. Douglas, Mindy, Jack Frost, whatever she name is these days, comes forward, John Wick, could be, you never know, comes forward with an official termination letter that states clearly why Evie Clark was... Because up to now, we have not been quoted with a breach of a particular clause in a particular contract, right? So we don't know if Evie breached the Trinidad contract or the international contract. Because I understand one is 4 pages and one is 25 pages. So I don't know if Evie is in breach of the 24-page or the 4-page contract. The local contract or the international contract.
Well, I believe she said the 4-page because she said if she cannot, she cannot go with she cannot. Well, the 4-page contract is what she said was the problem.
Okay, so then
if you can honor, if you cannot honor the 4-page contract, how could you honor the 26-page?
Okay, so then
that's what she said.
Let's just play devil's advocate. If you give me a contract to enter your competition, doesn't the contract between you and I end when the competition has ended?
Yes, that's true.
So then if the competition has ended, then whatever obligations I have to you is done, right?
Yeah.
So then how could I breach a contract with a competition that's already gone if the competition is passed and all my obligations were fulfilled?
For real.
Because if my obligations weren't fulfilled, why was I allowed on the stage?
And just why not have a meeting face to face and just clear all the issues up? Walk with your contract. Let's get this settled. Especially if you have so many people saying these things and falsifying information. Just come and set the record straight. What is the problem?
Every media house that I've spoken to has messaged and says, did you guys get a copy of the contract? Because yet, and we're like, no. They're like, because every time we try to ask her, she keeps doing a ring around her roses.
She said she have no problem bringing these documents forward.
Yeah. Then where
so
is
I don't
it?
understand
Christy Ramnarine asked her for it. Laura Dorich asked her for it. Everybody's asking her for it. And even more than that, if somebody breached something that I have, I could be able to tell you, well, this is what Kimberly did, and this is what we agreed to. To date, you've been inaccurate, you've been non-factual, you've just made a bunch of dramatic statements, and nothing is sticking. Nothing is sticking, which means her spaghetti is not cooked.
Well, all right,
Jenny.
guys, the saga continues. We just up in the air right now.
We're way up in the air like a rag. On Carnival Monday.
Sorry to say.
Spinning like a rag in a party.
Oh my.
It's really sad because I could tell you, this young lady
I'm feeling it for her. No lie.
She's not just ready. She's dedicated. She's poised. She's well spoken. She's educated.
And we saw that yesterday.
She's eloquent. She's ladylike. She's focused. She's laser determined. And to have this taken away from her at 2:00 in the morning I find it highly disrespectful.
Fay-Ann, just before we close off, another major question that, of course, I'm sure you saw on social media where everybody's saying that, oh my God, Fay-Ann is back. Fay-Ann is back. She didn't leave at all, but Fay-Ann is back. And they're wondering, seeing that you seem to be so versed in this, nobody knew that you would have had a passion behind something like that.
And all bricks, I say.
People are now asking, do you think that this is something that you think you're going to be doing in the future?
What, managing?
Managing or the franchise?
Why do you think Bungie is so successful?
All right. Drop the mic. Drop the mic.
Drop the mic, boy. I tell you.
Listen, I'm seeing the phone lines going. I don't know. Should we
Age is, I've seen people comment on people's based on age. And I've seen a lot of 28-year-olds look like 95, and I've seen a lot of 95-year-olds look like they're 27. I think if we're looking at age, we either need to associate something with your age. It's either your looks or your maturity. So we need to decide what are we looking for when we put age as a cap. Are we looking for maturity or are we looking for a look? Are we looking for somebody that's able to be mature to deal and handle being under pressure and the
answer questions, the maturity level,
the requirements of being Miss Universe?
Yeah.
Or are we saying that women tend to cap at a particular age with respect to their youthfulness?
No, the run-up is 28 also. So the run-up is
28, yes.
Hi, Kim.
Hi, how you doing?
So I have a question for Fay-Ann.
Yes, ma'am.
So if the Trinidad leg of the competition has gone, she did everything that she was supposed to do as far as that part of it, and then she was in direct contact with the Miss Universe internationally, and they were in direct contact with her, and they understand that she is and was the representative. Can Jenny Douglas now be bypassed?
Well, the thing about it is we did contact the Miss Universe
Thanks a lot,
personnel in the United States, and what they said is, Jenny, they do have like a complaint or like a termination letter, whatever it is, lodged with them from her. They were asking her the grounds, and we told them, well, we were asking the same thing because she did not state any grounds. She just basically said, Evie is not coming, and we're replacing her with this girl. So they were like, okay,
what's the situation?
What is the situation? Right. And we were offered, we couldn't give them an explanation either. Now the problem is a lot of these franchises deal with contracts. So if you have a contract with the Miss Universe franchise holder in Trinidad, one of the things I'm sure, or I would assume, would be in the contract would be reasons for termination. So unless we can get the contract to show where Mrs. Douglas has breached some clause or broken something or failed in her obligation, was negligent or whatever it is, lawyers know their terminology and what they would be looking for. We cannot necessarily just bypass her. She is a factor in the equation. So we need to always bear in mind that because she's the franchise holder, she will have to be considered. And
she would have some sort of weight.
Yes, and then she's the one who made the decision. So the only person who could reverse it, would have to be her. If we try to bypass her, we may be breaching something.
Yeah, right.
Because remember, again,
chain of command.
Yes, we don't know what Evie signed in that 25-page document, where it possibly states that she's not to contact the Miss Universe people without
who knows?
The knowledge of the franchise holder. I don't know. So for us, we don't want to make a move that's too irrational and puts Evie in any more trouble or issues than she already is.
All right.
Come on, Jenny, man.
Any closing words, Fay-Ann?
Yeah, I'm appealing to Miss Douglas. Listen, this has gone too far. It's ridiculous. We understand that your ego may be upset and hurt and bruised because of people are saying stuff about you on Facebook. Take it from somebody who's had people critique them all the time. Don't worry, tomorrow they'll find something new to say.
Okay.
Trinidad and Tobago needs a representative. They need a prepared, poised, determined representative. I cannot speak for the other young lady because I've never met her.
Right.
I can speak for Evie. I've spent almost every day till my daughter was like, Mommy, you're going again. You understand? With Evie. And I can tell you, if I had to back somebody out of the both of them, I would definitely back Evie. We've already made basic preparations in terms of getting the people in place. Everybody's just waiting to go. The only person that's really holding up this train right now is Jenny Douglas. And I would appeal to her to let her sense of patriotism. You say you're a Trini, then act like a Trini. You don't just replace people just so. You know, Trinis don't do that.
Yeah.
You train the baby out with the bathwater right now, all because a bunch of people stood up on Facebook and social media and they blast you. Deal with these people, but don't take out your frustration and your rage
That's so true.
on this young lady that has absolutely done nothing to you more than support your competition, sell your tickets, keep herself in a particular gear. The only thing she did that you may not agree with is reach out to me. And rather than I am not going door-to-door paranging, I am going straight to the people I know, which is my friends in the media, and say, hey, I am backing this lady. Anybody who wants to join, back with me. And if I am wrong for asking my fellow Trinidadians to join with me to help send a representative
For them, yes.
Not a Evie Clark representative. She's going to be seen as Miss Trinidad and Tobago.
Really?
So if I am wrong in asking people to join with me and help send Miss Trinidad and Tobago to represent Trinidad and Tobago, because I know when she win, everybody in the airport kutung with a rhythm section, then so be it. But at the end of the day, I don't think I'm wrong. I honestly don't think I did anything wrong. This girl was driving around, peddling left, right, door to door to door, which I think was demeaning. She's a queen. We need to treat her as a queen, and queens are on TV. And she didn't ask for anything. I was the one who was quote unquote begging for money, or so to speak. You understand? With my Range Rover park up outside. Whatever.
Fay-Ann, know that.
Let's go.
She's tiring. She's tiring.
Fay-Ann, thank you so much for
Thank you, guys.
clearing the air. A lot of questions we had, and you were able to answer your side. Again, we're appealing to Miss Jenny Douglas.
Yeah, boy, Jenny, boy. Oh,
Come
gosh.
on, man.
Bring
Come
the
on,
contract.
Yeah.
Just put the contract in the public. Let's see what it is.
Let's see what it is. That's it.
Let's move on. Let me
Alright.
move on from this. Come on, let me just see something so we could say, all right, Evie, tie it up.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me
I
just
agree
show us
with you.
something.
Yeah.
Let's show us something.
That's it.
All right.
Let's show us something. Don't do the young girl that, man. Don't do that.
I agree.
Don't
All
do
right,
that.
guys. So, Midday Scandal, it's over. This was your Wednesday's edition.